Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. We're continuing to follow news out of Mansfield, where water service is expected to be restored following an outage. Service went out due to a leak during last week's winter storm. Several still without running water as we head into the 7th straight day. We reached out to the mayor of Mansfield on Wednesday, who told us all but about 100 customers now have running water in their homes.
I know people have gotten frustrated. I've been frustrated myself, but we're thankful that they have been patient with us. We've done the best that we can.
Well, to help people get by, the National Guard delivered tanks with about 2,000 gallons of water to the city over the weekend that people are able to use until service is completely restored. And we're almost to a new month. We've already seen 2 winter storms impacting classes for area schools. Arkansas requires students have either 178 days of in-person instruction or a total of 1,068 hours. Some area schools are making changes to their schedules to ensure the students get that time back in the classroom. The superintendent of Huntsville School District, Jonathan Warren, says his students have already missed nearly 7 days of classes. He says they're looking into several options, including adjusting start and end times of the day.
We can adjust our bell schedule for the remainder of the time and maybe add in some minutes, but we haven't processed that yet to be able to say that's what we're doing.
Now, Warren stressed they have not finalized a plan yet, and he hopes to have a solidified schedule for the remaining year sometime in March. Fort Smith Public Schools have converted their professional development days on March and April to student days to make up the missed time in their district. Before we get to other news, let's get a check of that rainy forecast with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Yeah, Joe, not only we're tracking fog this morning like we have the previous couple mornings here across 5 country, we've also got widespread rainfall spreading in too. So we're going to get our next round of rain during the first half of the day on Thursday, trying to jump ahead to Sunday because that's when our next dry pattern will take off. We're going to get a lot of sunshine next week, 50s and 60s. You're going to love that forecast. What an active week we've been stuck in here. We've got drier air that'll be coming in mid-late morning into the early afternoon hours. We're going to taper off those rain chances from southwest to northeast. Again, early afternoon, a little patchy sprinkle or drizzle can't quite be ruled out, but we're going to dry out as we go in the afternoon. We're looking for temperatures today to top out in the 50s. Breaks of sunshine trying to mix in, and then we're going to build those clouds back in and get some more fog to build in going into Friday morning. We'll look for low 40s, upper 30s to get a day started on Friday, again with some reduced visibility. Then more rain comes in Friday night into Saturday, Joe.
All right, thanks for that, Zach. Well, in recent days, we've received reports of people from the Marshallese community being detained by ICE. More than 15,000 Marshallese people live in Northwest Arkansas, and people want to know what's behind the apparent surge in detainments. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams spoke with Marshallese community leaders and the Washington County Sheriff. Take a look.
We don't want them to be deported. They're mostly sole providers of their family members.
The Arkansas Coalition of Marshallese reports in the last 3 weeks, dozens of Marshallese people in Northwest Arkansas have been detained by ICE.
For us, like if there is folks that are being repeated offenders and are not abiding by the law, those are the individuals that they should be sent home.
With more and more Marshallese families being separated, those left behind are turning to the coalition for help.
Today alone, I've had 7 different phone calls of family members. One of them wanted to know where their loved one was. So luckily I was able to locate him, and now it's just a matter of having that individual reach out to their families and just let them know how they're doing.
Stephanie Takamaru with ACOM says they've been connecting families facing legal battles with attorneys. A big question for the Marshallese community is,
where does it stop with misdemeanor charges?
Sheriff Jay Cantrell says Washington County has taken part in the State Criminal Alien Assistance, or SCAP program for 15 years. The Sheriff's Office submits the names of people who meet the criteria for detainment to the Bureau of Justice Assistance, according to Cantrell, not directly to ICE.
So we collect that data, we submit it, but usually it's a year or 2, sometimes it's even 3 years behind.
The criteria for SCAP is you'd have to be a non-U.S. citizen convicted of 2 criminal misdemeanors or a felony, and you'd have to spend at least 4 consecutive days in the Washington County Jail.
SCAP has nothing to do with deporting anyone or going out and doing a roundup to find people that are illegal. It's only people that have come to jail and met that criteria in the grant reporting period.
The program is voluntary, but the Washington County Sheriff's Office receives money for its participation.
We call it a grant, but it's actually a reimbursement. We don't know from year to year what that reimbursement amount will be.
Sheriff Cantrell says the money goes to help cover the cost to operate the jail.
But I think we owe it to the taxpayers to find those opportunities and to get that reimbursement, and to, it can only be used for correctional purposes.
Cantrell does not believe Marshallese people are being targeted.
We're happy they're here. They're providing us service. They're working. They're raising their families here, trying to build a better life. Don't fault them at all for that, but there are rules and there are laws, and as long as those are adhered to, then they're likely not to be encountered by law enforcement.
In Washington County, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Well, 5 News has reached out to ICE for comment, and we're waiting for their response. We'll continue to follow this story and all the news where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. Have a great day.